You and I talked a little bit about targeting single economic buyer versus targeting multiple economic buyers. And so when you're approaching these people to call, are you calling anybody in IT, or are you trying to get down to the same title? Can you talk about that a little bit?
As a young company, as a startup, you definitely don't have the resources to go and target multiple economic buyers, right? So it's the world of IT is a little bit complex. If you just look at the titles could be all over the place. So the approach that we have always taken is let's not look at the titles, look at the responsibility, right? So it's a persona of a person. It could be multiple different titles, right? So the personas we have looked at is like, in our case, the first persona we have targeted on is like, who will get a call if your app is not working well. So that is the persona. Who it could be. In some companies it could be IT operations, some company it could be developers, some companies it could be line of businesses that would own it, right? So that's how we have looked at like who will get the call. That is a persona we want to go after and solve a problem. So my approach to all of this has been like, as a company, you have to do one thing first and do it very well, and then you do like another thing and do it very well. You can't be like mediocre in 5 different things. That doesn't really, you can't create a market, you can't compete with that. So the model I would like to follow is let's focus on one persona and one use case and do it extremely well and establish value and sell. Then you go from that to like one persona, multiple use cases. You solve more problems for them and you sell that. Once you kind of establish that, that's when and that may be years and years, that you can monetize that to a great level. That's when you start going to multiple personas, right? So, and you don't want to expand too quickly. Then you go multiple personas, multiple use cases, right? And then in the persona world also, there's a distinction. There's the economic buyer, and there is kind of the user, right? So so you have to kind of distinguish between. You can have like as long as one buyer, you can go after multiple users separately. When you start going after multiple buyers, your sales cycle has to be different, your messaging has to be different, and that's we as a company's journey, you most likely have to go there at some point. Yeah. But I always look at like the longer we could go without having to do that, the better it would be.
Great. Get to that first 100 million if you can without getting beyond getting to multiple economic buyers. Another question for you. When I meet founders, many times they look at selling to customers, and the CEO does all the selling, and they feel really good about that. But at some point, that becomes hard to scale. Another way to do it is hiring a VP of sales, hiring reps, and building kind of planting the seeds of scalability. How did you do it at AppDynamics?
I would say the first 3-4 customers, I had to do most of the selling. But beyond that, I brought in a VP of sales pretty early on to go beyond it. So we hired our first rep and our first VP of sales around the same time, and then we got our sales organization. We started building a sales machine kind of model there pretty quickly. But I would say that the first set of customers, I'm a believer that you can't find while you go through finding a product market fit, you will get to those first set of customers. Because if you haven't got like anyone interested, you haven't found the product market fit. So, and it's the founders have to drive that. You can't rely on that you'll hire a sales guy who will find the product market fit for you, because that's how you get your first set of customers. But you want to get to, once you find the product market fit, you want to scale as quickly as you can at that point, right? And to scale, you have to have a sales organization to scale. You just can't scale with the founder or the CEO doing all the selling. It just doesn't work. And it's kind of an interesting journey, right? At some point it was like every deal more than 50K, at least I will be in the mix in some way. Then the bar moved to like 250K, and then the bar moved to to 500K, to $1 million. Now it's like we are starting to have like $5 million deals where I have no idea that a deal is still going on. So that's how the model scales, which is great.
You've reached a great stage in the journey. So you mentioned something interesting. You hired a VP of sales and a rep initially. Why not just hire 3 or 4 reps? Why hire that VP of sales at that early stage?
A part of it is also like I didn't have experience running a sales organization, right? So I always look at it like I need to surround myself with people who had that experience. So it's hard, for me to even hire the right reps. How do I know? How do you hire the right reps? So what I wanted to bring was a very experienced VP of sales who could be partnering with me on that, and they would bring in they would bring the right sales process and hire the sales rep. So and part of it is like so that I could learn as part that as well. So that's how I looked at it. Like it wasn't that like I had a lot of experience building sales organization and running sales organization. So I had to complement the management team by bringing in a good VP of sales.